Hey all, what's up everybody? Tim with today's SCE. Hope wherever you're at, you are doing awesome, and thanks to you all for watching and for every time you've caught any of these videos over the last couple of years. It means a lot and it's greatly appreciated. So the title for today's shoot is one of probably my all-time favorites, if not favorite, for everything I've done, and that title is You Are Never Out of the Fight. Now I want you to think about those words. You are never, ever out of the fight. That means no matter how dark it gets, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how tough it gets, you do not quit. And you may get knocked down 7 times, but you get back up 8 times. And you just refuse to yield to whatever it is that's trying to stop you, thwart you, come against you, hinder you, whatever the case is. You absolutely will not quit, and no matter what the situation looks like, you recognize you are not out of the fight, and it's not over until you say it's over. Now, I know a lot of you have already done this, and you have this muscle, if you will, this I'm never out of the fight muscle that all of us have, and all of us have used, or else we wouldn't be alive. The thing is that we forget about it, and we put it on a shelf, and it collects dust. And if we don't take it out and dust it off and use it like any muscle, it's going to fade away and it's going to lose its effectiveness. So the reason why I say to you that you've used it is because there has been some point in your past where the odds were against you and things seemed dire and they seemed hopeless and it seemed like there was no chance of winning and everything was against you, but you hung in there, you dug deep, you found that extra reserve, you kicked it into overdrive, you slugged it out, you put your head down and you persevered, and you came out on the other side better and victorious. So I want you to think about a time from your childhood when you just absolutely refused to yield. You refused to give in to the circumstance or the situation, and you continued to push on until you made it through. And for me, probably the first time I experienced this, I was 15 years old. And it was my first year of lifeguarding at a scout camp that I practically lived at during the summertime. And at this summer camp, the aquatic staff came up from the deep south, from Virginia, Georgia, Florida, and they were these good old Southern boys. And the one good old Southern boy was a football player for the University of Georgia, and he was a humongous dude. He was probably about 280 pounds, 6'4", gigantic. And I'll never forget the first day I was assigned to work with him, because I was the junior guy. For an entire hour, all we did was play fetch the brick. And what fetch the brick was, I was treading water in about 8 to 10 feet of water, and we had this 10 to 15 pound brick that he would throw in, and it would hit the bottom, and he'd yell, "Dive, rookie!" and I'd have to dive down and get it, and I'd hand it to him, and he'd yell, "Dive, rookie!" and throw it back in. And we went through this again and again and again for about an hour. And there were plenty of times during that hour time frame that I just wanted to say, you know what, screw this, I'm out of here, I'm done. But I refused to quit, and I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I said, there's no way this dude is going to break me. I'm going to make it through. I'm going to do it. That is the never out of the fight muscle. That is the never quit muscle at work. So I want you to think about that time from your past, and I want you to dust it off, and I want you to pull it into the present. I want you to think about how it felt to push through that and how it felt on the back end of that, because you have that skill now. You have the ability to never quit now. You just have to reacquaint yourself with it. And for some of you, I know you know it very well. You've come through cancer, you've come through bankruptcy, you've come through financial difficulties and relational difficulties, and you are very, very familiar with never quit. Well, the deal with life is it's going to continue to give us lessons and opportunities to never quit, and it doesn't go away. So we got to use it, and we got to dust that muscle off, and we got to get after it again and again and again, and just absolutely refuse to be broken and refuse to quit. But the fact of the matter is, we all have it. We've all used it. We've all come through our share of stuff. So even if you're in this stuff now, think about everything you've survived. Think about everything you've come through and everything you've conquered and come out alive and better for on the other side. That tells me that you have that never quit muscle. And you need to remind yourself of that. You need to remind yourself of that greatness within you, that resiliency, that perseverance. The other thing that we need to do is a lot of times when we get into a situation, we think that the way things are is the way things are always going to be. And you need to remind yourself, and I need to remind myself, that this is a season. And it's come to pass, it's not come to stay. And all I have to do is get through today. And then tomorrow, all I have to do is get through tomorrow. I don't have to look at the totality of it. I don't have to look at the size of it or the scope of it, because that becomes overwhelming. And when people quit, it's when they become overwhelmed with the size and the magnitude of something. But if they take it in small chunks, if they take it day by day, and they remind themselves that they've done this in this past, and they have that never quit muscle, and they dust it off, and they remember their why behind what they're doing, whether they're doing it to inspire their family or their friends or their loved ones, or they're doing it for their kids, when you combine those things, boom! You are a mighty force to be reckoned with, and you are going to kick some serious ass. So, one, remember the times that you've refused to quit and that you've never given up. Remember that you're never out of the fight. The only time you're out of the fight is when you yield. And you've not yielded in the past, and you're not going to yield today. Also, I want you to remember the fact that you are doing it for yourself and for other people. Remind yourself of your why. Reacquaint yourself with your why, because that motivation will carry you through. And then finally, remind yourself that this has come to pass. It's not come to stay. It's just a season. It's not going to be like this forever. All I got to do is get through today. And I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. I'm just going to worry about today. And when tomorrow comes, I'm going to worry about tomorrow and just get through that day. And the next day, I'm just going to get through that day. And I'm going to build momentum day after day. And you may need to make that decision on an hour-by-hour basis or on a moment-by-moment basis. But bring it down to a small chunk and realize I'm not going to quit. I am not out of the fight. I am breathing. I am alive. There is a plan for my life. There is a destiny. I can do it before. I did it before, so I can do it again. And I am not out of the fight. I will not yield. I will not relent. I will hang in there. You can beat me and beat me and beat me. I may fall down 7 times, but I'm going to get up 8. If I get knocked down an 8th time, I'm going to get up 9. What makes a person great isn't getting knocked down. It's getting back up again and refusing to quit and committing to themselves that they are never out of the fight. So I want to tell you, no matter what's going on, good or bad, you are never out of the fight until you say you are. Make the decision that you're not. Put the things that we talked about today in place, and you are a tour de force to be reckoned with, and you will win whatever fight you're in. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks again for watching. Tim from the LV. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.